Every now and then we get to work on something very special, and this is one of those occasions. Hawkins Paint Solutions came to us and said, we've got a really nice car that's just undergone a bare metal repaint and restoration. Before it goes back to the customer, would you like to give it that SONAX shine before we do the finishing touches? I'm Chris from SONAX GB, and this is 1960s Jaguar E Type. So this is in the final stages of the build-up process. There's still a few little bits of trim and that to add onto it, number plates, etc. But while it's been undergoing that, it's picked up quite a lot of dust over it, inside as well. The problem with dust is, especially on fresh paintwork like this, is if you rub it with your hands or whatever, you're going to introduce scratches. That's the same with any car, whether it's your daily driver or this one. You want to avoid rubbing the paint. So that's why we decided now is a great time to give this a clean, get rid of the dust so that it can have the final finishing touches before going back to the owner. To be honest, I just want to get this outside and start working on it because I'm so excited. So let's get it out there. Okay, so I'm starting with the engine bay. I was hoping a little bit of compressed air and a tornador would be able to remove some of the dust in that, but it's just so deep in. Unfortunately, I'm going to have to go with wet washing. I have to be so careful with this car because of the age. Cars this age are not very waterproof. So I've used some SX90, which is the water displacement, and I've done all the electrical connectors. That will stop water getting into them, and obviously I'm going to avoid absolutely soaking this engine, so I'm just going to be as careful as I can, but we want it to look its best, so it's a process that has to be done. Okay, so for the engine bay, to remove the dust, I'm going to use our all-purpose cleaner, which is our Profiline Multi-Star. This one you can dilute for exterior or interior, so any cleaning job. So you can dilute 1 to 10 for engine bays or exterior as a pre-wash, or you can dilute 1 to 20 right up to 1 to 50 for interior surfaces. So I'm going to be putting this in our foam sprayer and also our pump sprayer. The foam sprayer is very handy, especially on this engine bay, because a dense foam doesn't over soak an area, so it's not going to end up, penetrating into electrics and stuff that I don't want it to go into. And also the foam will cling longer, giving it a longer dwell time. So let's get to it. Okay, so I've gone around with a multi-star and I've agitated lightly with a brush. Now it comes to rinsing. This is the most important thing when you're cleaning an engine bay. Doesn't matter if it's an old classic car like this or your daily driver. You don't want to hold the lance too close because then you'll force water into areas that it's not designed to go. You want to move the lance nice and quickly, not holding it still, so again, you don't force water in, moving it quickly and from far away. The cleaner should have done its job. This is just to rinse. So if you remember that, you'll always have good times cleaning engine bays. Okay, so we've done the engine bay. I've dried it off with an airline, tried to get all the water out of all the gaps. I'm going to move on to the wheels now. We have many choices on wheel cleaner, but these are the two most popular. We have the Beast wheel cleaner and our Extreme rim cleaner. The Beast has come along as a little bit more powerful than the Extreme rim cleaner, but the Extreme rim cleaner is still an amazing wheel cleaner. These wheels are not covered in brake dust. They've just got a bit of dust on them. They have some light brake dust where the car's been driven around and stuff, but I don't need a powerful wheel cleaner for this because it's just dust and stuff. So I'm going to stick with the Extreme one. I can reiterate, I can't tell you this point enough. These wheels are bare metal, they're polished metal. You have to be extremely careful with what wheel cleaners you're using on. The good thing is with SONAX is these wheel cleaners are safe for all types of wheels. They will not damage your chrome, your polished, your powder coated or anything. We cannot make that point enough. These wheel cleaners are safe for every type of wheel. Right, let's get cracking. While I leave the wheel cleaner to do its job, you can see it's starting to turn purple as it's dissolving the brake dust which is on there. You can leave that about 5 minutes. While that's happening, I'm going to clean up this tyre which has all this browning from it being sat around. I'm going to use our multi-star, which again is diluted 1 to 10. I'm going to spray that all around and I'm going to give it a good scrub with a SONAX intensive brush. Here. Wow, wow, wow. This side now, Tom. Right, so the engine bay's done, wheels are clean the tyres. We're now going to move on to removing the dust off the bodywork. And I'm picking one of the favourites, which is the Profiline Active-Foam Energy Snowfoam. The beauty with this product is you only need a very small amount. This has to be the most highly concentrated snow foam on the market, where you only need 50 ml to your normal snow foam bottle. 50 ml, and the rest we fill up with water. Yep, this is just water. Now we're ready for some foam. Oh, look at that. That was the shot, Tom. That was the shot. Just coming to the washing, this is our SONAX Gloss Shampoo. This is just a straight shampoo. There's no wax, there's no gloss enhancers or anything. It's just a straight shampoo, pH neutral. It makes 200 litres, it's highly concentrated. You only need a couple of capfuls in a bucket for super slick suds. They leak. They're not designed, we'll talk about this in a bit. They're not designed for jet washes and high pressure cleaning, mate, or any kind of water. Like a hose pipe was about the most these were good at resisting against. No, this is flipping, yeah, but this is like a spaceship compared to all the other cars on the road, mate. This is like the highest technology. And the fact, apart from it flying, this is about as high technology you can get. Okay, so we've brought it back inside. Just finished drying it off. Use the blower to blow out as much water as we can out of any gaps. The problem with these old cars, and if you guys have classic cars or been around them before, they aren't actually very waterproof. The ceilings in the 60s was maybe a bit rubbish, shall we say. So the problem with washing these old cars with a high pressure lance is water gets into places that you don't actually want it to go. So you have to be very careful when rinsing with the lance. It's actually pretty much the same as the engine bay. Hold it far away, don't hold it still, and just quickly move the water so you don't force it into places we don't want it to go. But unfortunately, even by being extremely careful, you still get a few puddles in and around, because I think the windowsills are pretty much non-existent in these. Okay, so now we move on to the interior. It's not actually that bad in here. Obviously it's not a dirty car. This was obviously well looked after before it went through its full repaint. So it's mainly just dust and stuff that is picked up while it's been in the workshop and being worked on. So the first thing I'm going to do is go through the hoover. I'm going to go around with a little brush and dust any little details out and just try and get as much dust out as I can before we move on to cleaning. We obviously have many different surfaces in here. Many sensitive surfaces. This is an old car. These materials back in the day were fragile, shall we say. So we have to be careful. We can't be using too strong a cleaner on them. We're going to end up damaging something which is really expensive and I can't afford to replace it. So first up, once I've hoovered it through, I'm going to go move on to the leather. And I'm going to be using our Profiline leather cleaner. This is a very good cleaner. It deep cleans and also gives you that soft, grippy feeling back, which is what leather should be. It shouldn't be slippery. So if your seats are slippery, you need to give them a good clean. They also should be shiny. So if they're shiny, you need to give them a clean. So once I've gone through with the leather cleaner, I'm then going to give it a nice bit of leather protector. This has got like anti-creaking in it. So if you've got any leather that as you're moving around, you've got that horrible annoying noise, this will solve that. It'll also give it a protection to stop it resoiling so quickly and also give it, again, that grippy soft feel. Once I've done that, I'm going to move on to the other surfaces in the vehicle. So there's many different types of material. We've got some plastic on the dash. We have some vinyl around, you know, the switches and stuff. There's all different materials. So I don't want to have to keep going to get, you know, 4 or 5 different cleaners to do all these jobs. And as I said, it's not actually dirty, so it's just dust. So if you're a professional, we have our Profiline Sensitive Surface Detailer. This is great. The clue is in the name. It's great for sensitive surfaces, which this car is full of. It's a one-step, has, you know, anti-static and stuff, so it stops redusting. It has a pleasant smell, really easy to use. Now, if you're DIY, your home is your own car, then we have a very similar product, which is our Extreme Interior Detailer. This has a fantastic scent. I love the smell of this stuff in the car. It also has really good cleaning power, even though it's very, very gentle. It's great for headlinings. You can use it on carpets, mats, plastic, vinyl, metal, any surface. This is perfect. Again, it's just a one-step, has anti-static, so it'll stop resoiling. It's perfect. After that, we can move on to the glass, and I'm sure you can see that it's dirty, shall we say. So for that, I'm going to be using our Extreme Glass Clear. Pure water technology, so it leaves less streaks than some of the competitors, and it genuinely is a very, very good glass cleaner. If you buy this, you will not be disappointed. So I have loads to crack on with, so I'm going to get on with it. I'm turning it on, and then now you can try and deal with it. Deal with the lights. Right, so I've given it a quick hoover all the way through. Now I'm going to move on to leather cleaning. I have our Profiline leather cleaner ready, and I have put it into one of our foam sprayers. As I explained earlier, the foam means we use less product, and also we don't cause over soaking. Leather is quite sensitive and we don't want to get it too wet. Using too much product can actually cause damage to the leather. So I'm going to move into that. I have one of our new leather and upholstery brushes, because why not? I think the car deserves a new one, so we'll use one. Here it is. And I have a new leather and upholstery cloth. I'm going to put a few lumps of foam. I don't think that's a technical term, but we'll go with it. Lumps of foam. Okay, so I'm going to work panel by panel. Most seats have separated panels, which is quite good because it gives you sort of a layout of how to clean. First, I'm going to start with this one. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to spread the cleaner around the area, and then very gently, I'm going to start working that into the leather. You see, I spread that cleaner around. Now I'm just going to gently work into circles. What the brush is doing is working into the grain of the leather. The dirt tends to stick in the grain, and that's why we need a brush to brush it out. I don't know if you're picking that up on the camera or you guys can see, but that is looking really minging. It's actually, the colour of the foam is pretty disgusting. So this leather may be dirtier than we actually thought. Once you've agitated, we can just go ahead and wipe that off. So brand new clean cloth, and then we just wipe. Oh, that is grim. And it just shows actually, like, sometimes the leather looks okay, but you'd be amazed just how dirty it can be. I mean, that is pretty grim. Bearing in mind that's just one wipe. We'll do another one wipe. Yeah, it's not nice. That's some good stuff. That's quite impressive how bad it was actually. The seats actually looked in good condition, but when it came to cleaning, they were clearly dirty and in desperate need of a clean. Right, so after we've cleaned, we're now going to use a leather protector. All right, and I've got one of our SONAX applicator pads. We don't need a lot of this, less is more. You only need a couple of piece sizes for each different panel. Okay, I'm going to finish this panel off. I'm going to work that in, and then you just want to massage this in. Genuinely less is more with this. You don't need a lot of it. The grain and into the pores of the leather, and that will also give us nice protection, also that anti-creak, and it also gives us that nice grippy feeling. I'm going to let that dry in, and I'm actually going to carry on and do the rest of the seats. Oh my God. The leather's all cleaned and conditioned. I'm now going to move on to the rest of the surfaces. A lot of this in here, dash, all of this is vinyl. 60s and 70s, they loved a bit of vinyl. So that's what most of the surfaces is in here. So I have my interior detailer. I'm going to get cracking. Then we can apply to the surface. And after we've agitated, we can just turn the cloth over or get another cloth and just wipe off any excess. And then once that dries, you will have a nice original finish. This doesn't leave a glossy finish, so whatever you're cleaning, it will restore it to its original. So if it's supposed to be matte vinyl or matte plastic, that's what it will be, which is what I prefer, especially in something like this. We have glossy trim dressings if you want the gloss effect, but in something like this, of this age, I think everything just has to be OE. Okay, so that's pretty much it then. Done. Get the aftershots, let's go. The interior's all done. Hoovered through, done all the vinyl, done all the plastics, been through the whole lot. So, last thing on the interior is the glass. It's the finishing touch. I think once the glass is clean on the car, it makes it look so much better. So, I have our Extreme Glass Clear, which the glass isn't clear at the moment, so we need to change that. And I have one of our bug sponges. We spray straight on to the applicator. There's enough glass cleaner on there to do a few windows if you're wondering why I've put so much on. But the whole point is we want the glass cleaner to do its job of cleaning. So we need plenty of cleaner. So we spread that around. You can see that it soaks up quite nicely. And then once we've finished with that, we then take another cloth. This is our new SONAX waffle weave glass cloth. And we want to use this like a squeegee, like your traditional window cleaner would, which is in straight lines, removing the excess. We don't want to just keep wiping and wiping because that will introduce smears. You can turn to another side of the cloth for like that final dry. But that's it. If you just keep wiping and wiping, you are risk it putting smears in. And that's it. Should be clear glass. So, Interior's done, glass is done. I'm going to dress these tyres before I do something with the paintwork. It just gives it time to dry before it gets driven. So we have a few options on tyre dressing. We have our high gloss ones, either in a spray or a gel, or we have this one, which is what I'm going to be using, because this one is more of a matte effect. It gives it like a new finish to the tyre, and on something like this, that's what it really needs. The high gloss tyre dressings look lovely, but on a classic car, I just think this looks so much more classy. It tends to be, if a car has like black wheels, gloss finish always looks good, but on a classic car, you just cannot beat this. It's very, very simple to use. You just spray onto an applicator, like so. This is water-based, so you can see it goes on quite thin. It's a bit of a milky colour, but that will dry. The beauty of this is it actually restores the rubber, obviously that original finish, but it's like a coating, so it lasts a very long time. It gives a water beading effect to the rubber tyres. Also helps to stop cracking and stuff, so there's many advantages to it, not just for looking pretty. Okay, there we go. I'm going to let that dry, and then I can look at what the finish is. If you want it to be like really dull, you can go around with a cloth and just wipe off any excess, and that will give you an even more matte finish. But I'm going to leave this on because I think a little bit of like a satin finish would look great. Pretty much everything done. The last thing I'm going to do is just tackle the paintwork. Obviously this has had a fresh paint job. It's been polished in the body shop, so I don't need to do any correction work. What I am going to do is put some protection on it. Now this car obviously is not going to be used every day. This is not a daily driver. It's not going to be going to Morrison's in this. So using ceramic coatings and stuff is great. We could put one on here, but they're great for your daily drivers or cars that are in good use. You know, the durability, things like that is great. Something like this, and there's a saying, is you always wax an old timer, which is a good saying because this doesn't get used very often. So by using a simple wax on this, it's not going to be washed every weekend like your daily driver, so the durability is going to be extended. You know, simple wax that lasts 3 months for us is basically 12 washes. So if you only wash it once a month, that wax is going to last nearly a year. Also, the friction or the slickness of a wax helps actually stop scratching because you don't create friction when bushes or something are going along or during washing. And also the wax droplets help any bugs or anything when this is going on a nice summer's drive, sticking to the front. They're far easier to clean off than, you know, say, well, an unprotected car. So what I'm going to use is I'm going to use our Profiline Speed Protect, which is a spray wax. And it is exactly the same product as our high-speed wax in our DIY range. The reason why is because this is a great wax. It's a fantastic wax, and we don't need to dumb it down to be in the DIY range. It's the same product. The difference is it's in a litre for professionals because it's more cost-effective for them to buy larger quantities when they're working on lots of cars, and obviously the smaller quantities for the DIY range because, you know, it takes you forever to go through a litre on a car like this. So basically we're just going to spread this around. You can go in nice straight lines to make sure we get enough product everywhere, and then we can sort of just buff it into the paintwork. And what you'll see is, I don't know if you can pick it up on the camera, but what you'll see is the smears start to disappear as you work the wax in. And then once it's almost disappeared, a few light smears, you can turn the cloth over or you can get another cloth, whichever is easiest, and then you can just very gently buff off the excess. I mean, it doesn't get any simpler than that. And as I said, durability is 3 months based on washing once a week. So depending on your wash schedule and how often you wash the car, it will obviously last a lot longer than that. The beauty is it's so slick. It's so smooth. Water beading is amazing. Right, I'm going to get on and get the rest of this paintwork done. I like to do everything. Well, I've had a great day today. Working on this, it has been a dream. It's such a nice car to work on. And when you get to work on stuff like this, it really makes you appreciate the job. Makes me love it. You can see from the before and after, like, you know, obviously, you know, this wasn't a barn find. It wasn't dragged out of a hedge. It was already a relatively clean car. We've just given it that extra little pop for the customer. So I can't wait to see him collected his, you know, restored E-Type. He's going to be over the moon. If it was my car, I'd be happy. Don't forget, all the products we used today, they're so simple to use. We've just showed you, you know, a small selection of the SONAX range. They're all available to buy online. You can buy directly from us. We have them at Amazon, or there is your local reseller. And on the subject of this car, if you have a project that is cool, it doesn't have to be this exotic, but something that's cool that we can do, give it the SONAX shine, we would love to have it along. Contact us, send us some pictures and we can chat, and then we would love to have it here. Thanks for watching, guys. Like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.